Day 31 is all about understanding your shape. If you did not watch yesterday's video, you might be thinking I'm talking about your figure, and I'm not. Rick Warren gave us some very specific, what is it called when you use the first letter out of a word? Is it an acronym? I think it's an acronym. So shape is an acronym. And if acronym is not the word, y'all know what I mean. But each letter in shape stands for a different word. So shape helps us determine ways that we can be effective in ministry. It kind of helps us get a better idea of where we should be functioning in the body of Christ. So the S stands for spiritual gifts. The H stands for heart. A for abilities, P for personality, and then the E is for experience. So yesterday we talked about spiritual gifts and heart, and today this chapter was dedicated to our abilities, our personality, and our experience, and how those things affect our purpose and what we're supposed to be doing on earth. He talks about your abilities, the things that you're naturally born with, and there are a variety of abilities that people can have. And quite often, you're not even really sure all the things that you can do because some people are scared to try new things. I remember being in high school and having to take art as an elective, right? It was not something I don't know. I didn't sit around and draw and paint like on my own as a kid. Like I would color pictures and stuff, but I would doodle in church. As a matter of fact, one of my friends was hating on my doodles because we used to write notes in church, and her grandma would be so mad after church. But we would write notes to each other during the sermon and like pass them back and forth. So we weren't paying attention. Anyway, so I would doodle or whatever. And so I just assumed that I couldn't really draw. Well, when I took art in high school, our teacher had us, I can't even think of what it's called, but I know there's a specific art term for it, but we drew out a grid, right? We found a picture and we drew a grid over that picture. And then we had to draw the picture on a separate piece of paper that just had a grid on it. So you could use the little individuals, whatever was in those individual squares, to help you like draw the big picture. And I feel like I found my calling because I was able to do it very well. And that unlocked a part of my brain. So now I'm able to, and it was something I had never tried before, never even thought about, because like I can't really draw, you know what I mean? But now I can look at a picture and I can draw it on a separate piece of paper pretty well. And I remember the first time I did it, my bestie was like, oh my gosh, I did not know you could draw. I feel like I don't know you at all. And I'm like, well, I can't come up with it organically, but if I look at it, I can do a darn good job imitating what I see. But I never would have known I had that ability if I hadn't tried it. And it was just something that I didn't even think to do. Just wasn't on my list of things that I needed to dabble into. So we all have lots of different abilities. And some of our abilities we're very well aware of. We know what we're naturally good at. We know the things that we can do, and we do them. He leans into the fact that our natural abilities are a great way to serve God. He put all those gifts in you for a reason, and he gave you those abilities for a reason. And when I say serve God, I don't mean like, ooh, take this to church because that's the only place that you're useful. I mean, use those gifts to help people. We are the hands and feet of Christ on the earth. And so the abilities he gave us, we should use to help people. Just period, hands down. And it shouldn't be contained within a church building. it should be given to the world. So personality, he dipped into that, which was really true to me. I'm definitely an introvert. I like my quiet time. I was talking with a coworker today, and she was saying that a lady quit because she missed, I work from home, and a lady quit because she missed the constant interaction with people, like the daily dialogue. I think just like hearing people's voices and all of that. So the job was not a great fit for her, but it's a great fit for me. I get to be in my comfy environment, and I get to be quiet, and I don't have to say anything to anybody. So it works beautifully for me. That's my personality. On the flip side, I do enjoy interacting with people. I love talking to people, especially people that I'm very close to. Sometimes I'm sure they're like, shh, be quiet, girl. Ooh, you talk too much. But I also need my quiet time to recharge. So, and then experience the different things that we've experienced in life. Are not just for our purposes. They are for ministry. I was talking to a friend, and they were complaining about the fact that, well, I wouldn't say complaining, but they were just saying, my church doesn't have this, my church doesn't have that. And I said, well, maybe you think that could be something that you could start, since that's an area that you have experience in, and that's an area you see need in. And I was saying, not even necessarily starting it like within the church and making it like a formal church group, but seeking out other people that are wanting to talk about this experience and this section of life, because our experiences don't just happen for us and don't just happen to us, but they definitely are a tool for ministry. If you go to BibleStudyGirl.com, I share a lot of my life experiences, because I want other Christians to know you're not by yourself, you're not alone, you're not crazy. That's one of the things I would constantly say to my therapist when I started therapy, like, and I know I'm crazy, but like, da-da-da. And he constantly told me, girl, you are not crazy. You're just going through things. You're going through life, and you're trying to figure things out. That doesn't make you crazy. And so that was a big push for me in being obedient and writing out some of my experiences in life, because who wants to feel crazy and who wants to feel like they're alone? Now, I will say the writing was much easier than doing these videos, because when I'm writing, I don't have to think about how I look, and I have to be very mindful of the fact that I'm going to be on video for a couple minutes. So might want to have a shirt on that doesn't have stains on it. So that was a big block for me. Also because I feel like I need to have makeup on all the time when I'm on camera. And now I don't do it. These are all things I think. But I had to push past that, because I feel like my experience and my story has value. I don't know who's going to watch this or when they're going to watch it. But my prayer is that my experiences resonate with people, and that God is able to use this, because it doesn't make sense to me. It's something that is outside of my comfort zone, but it doesn't have to make sense to me. I just have to trust him and follow him and do what he tells me to do. And because I don't have that big picture in mind, I don't know what I may say that may help someone. But like I've said before numerous times, people have, hearing one story about somebody's life has really had the power to impact, change, and move me and move the direction of my life. So I always want to be obedient, because he also talks about in this chapter that we are so unique, and God made each of us the way he made us for a reason, and that there are some things that we are specifically purposed to do. And if this is part of my specific assignment, I want to hit the nail on the head, because I don't want to be a hindrance to somebody else. I'm so grateful for all the other people who have shared pieces of themselves and their lives with me that changed my life. And I don't, like I've said before, I don't always know their name. I don't always know everything about them, but the things that they've done and the areas in their lives that they've been willing to be obedient have had a major impact on mine. And so my word for the year, if you don't listen to the podcast, my word for the year is obedience. And I'm leaning into it even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's something that not on my list of things to do. I'm leaning into that because I know from experience that obedience is better than sacrifice. And I done sacrificed a lot, and it wasn't good. Okay, so the verse for today, because I surely forgot yesterday. The verse for today. God has given each of you some special abilities. Be sure to use them to help each other, passing on to others God's many kinds of blessings. And that's 1 Peter 4:10. Have a terrific day. I need to shoot off to the library to get my book club kit so we can start reading our next book, because I'm a nerd. And it ain't a book about Jesus. But anyway, have a great day.